Montgomery City Council meeting for May 12th, 2026. We appreciate you all being here this evening. So that our business is not interrupted, would you please make sure that your phones are on silent or vibrate? Much appreciated. With that, I'd like to call meeting order, and that Ms. Langley will be late and Mr. Olson will be absent for this meeting.
Due to his father's.
Yes, it's due to his father. Okay. With that, we have a very special guest this evening, Judge Wayne Mack. I'd like to ask you to stand.
While we come tonight, we are thankful for governance. We're thankful for men and women that are willing to serve. You ordained government, and we just thank you, Lord, for this city. The legacy that's here, what this means to Texas, and we pray that your will would be done today. We pray your blessings upon everyone in this council, and as they serve you, this week we're reminded that this is National Police Week, and we're so thankful for the men and women of Montgomery PD that protect and serve and stand on that thin blue line every day and that keep us safe. We're thankful for every citizen and that cares about who rules and the elections and all that we get to choose those who serve us. So thank you, God. We pray your blessings and bless this nation, and that we would always have our heart turned towards you and be obedient to your will and your way. We speak all these things to be done in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the United States flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now the Texas flag. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible. All right, item 4 on your agenda is citizens' comments. I do have 2 citizens that would like to speak. Just as a reminder, this is used to speak to council, so there is no dialogue back and forth. And you have 3 minutes. Mr. Donaldson will be keeping time for 3 minutes. With that, the first speaker request form comes from Ms. Lisa Cooper at 402 Berkeley Drive. Please come to the podium. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, so last week I watched the economic development meeting. Ours parked in a parking lot like in my picture, and it kind of would block that wonderful white picket fence and the white museum building. I think visually, if we didn't have the parking right there, I just think it would look nicer for one thing. My other concern is the traffic. If someone's going south on Liberty Street and they want to turn into that parking lot, and by the way, they could also use it as a way just to get into the downtown area, that could be a traffic nightmare. People holding up traffic on 149, backing it up. Plus, y'all probably been at that intersection before, you know what it's like. So I just think that would be a concern also, and maybe since it's so few parking spaces, if we could eliminate the parking spaces, I think it would enhance that whole area and also help with the traffic flow on Liberty.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Number 2. Tim Stowe. I believe it's S-T-O-V-E.
Stowe.
So sorry, Joe. Please approach the podium, state your name for the record and your address, please, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Tim Stone with 118 Longhorn Run Drive, Montgomery. Just wanted to bring a matter to your attention. So I showed up to vote on Election Day. Montgomery Bend is a new development in Montgomery, and I was pretty sure I'm voting for the Montgomery city races, and I go and I vote, and I notice that on my ballot, there's no mayor, there's no city council members to vote for. I go ahead and submit my ballot, and then I ask the election judge, I go, is this not where you vote for mayor and city council? She goes, yes, it is. And I said, well, it was not on my ballot. And she said, well, you must be outside the city limits. I said, no, ma'am, I know I'm in the city limits. I know where I live. And so they looked it up on the map. They told me that, indeed, I lived outside of the city limits. And I said, that map is wrong. It's incorrect. And so I'm not going to lose sleep over, please don't be offended, I'm not going to lose sleep over who wins the election. And so I walked out to my car, and I got in my car, and was just going to drive off. And I thought, no, this is a major deal. Like, I'm a citizen, and I felt disenfranchised. And so I walked back in. I told the election judge I felt disenfranchised. I said, I live in the city limits. I'm a registered voter here. I did my due diligence to make sure that I was registered, and I was not allowed to vote. So she says, let's call city council, election central. And so election central gives me the same line that I live outside of the city limits. And I said, ma'am, your map is wrong. And anyway, so she said, let me do some research. She calls me back 20 minutes later, says, sir, you do in fact live in the city limits, and we're going to let you vote. Here's the issue. I showed up around 6 o'clock to vote. I voted about 10 minutes till 7. I was probably, if not the last person to vote, I was pretty close. Which means anybody in my neighborhood that voted was disenfranchised and was not allowed to vote for mayor or city council. And so when I asked Election Central, whose issue is that, they said that it was the city of Montgomery who gave them an incorrect map. So
I will respond to that, because the election judge contacted me. Well, I also spoke to Mr. Walker about that, and in fact, we did submit all the correct paperwork to Election Central, and they failed. And we have addressed that with them as well. So thank you very much for bringing that.
The election judge was amazing.
Yeah,
She was amazing.
But Election Central even stated,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much, though. Appreciate the feedback.
All right. Next item on your agenda is presentation. Item number 5. Proclamation recognizing National Police Week, May 10th through the 16th of 2026. So proclamation, whereas the Congress and President of the United States have designated the week of May 10th through the 16th, 2026 as National Police Week. And whereas law enforcement officers play a vital role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of our community. And whereas these dedicated individuals work tirelessly, often under challenging and dangerous circumstances, to protect life and property. And whereas it is important to recognize and honor those officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, as well as those who continue to serve with integrity and commitment. And whereas May 15th is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day, in honor of all fallen officers and their families, and U.S. flags should be flown.
We get a picture now?
Maybe if I can find it.
Montgomery Proclamation. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of people of Montgomery, Texas. And whereas these infrastructure facilities and services cannot be provided without the dedicated efforts of public work professionals, both public and private sector, who are employees at all levels of city government, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our city's transportation, water supply and treatment, wastewater collection and treatment, public buildings, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders and children of Montgomery, Texas, to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in our community. And whereas the year 2026 marks the 66th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Be it now resolved, I, Sarah Countryman, Mayor of the City of Montgomery, do hereby designate the week May 17th through the 23rd, 2026 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join the representatives of the American Public Works Association and government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designed to pay tribute to our public works professionals, engineers, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make to protecting our city's health, safety, and quality of life. In witness whereof, I do hereby proclaim on behalf of the City of Montgomery. Mike, I'll go over to you, please. Thank you all very much. All right, next item agenda on your agenda is number 7. Consideration of possible action on the City Council meeting minutes of April 28, 2026. Number 8, consideration of possible action on the second and final reading of a resolution of the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas, approving a project and expenditure of the Montgomery Economic Development Corporation for design and construction of improvements to the Downtown Improvements Project in Montgomery County, Texas. Number 9, consideration of possible action on professional engineering services agreement between the City of Montgomery and Escrow Engineering, LLC. Council, would you like to take these cumulatively or individually? What's your pleasure?
Cumulatively.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, take them cumulatively, seconded by Ms. Fox. This motion is debatable, amendable, or requires majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting the consent agenda as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept the consent agenda as presented. Election agenda, number 10 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action of an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas, canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the City of Montgomery, Texas general election held on the 2nd day of May, 2026, for the purpose of electing a mayor and 2 city council members, places 2 and 4 for regular terms. I do have the ordinance in front of me. It is ordinance number 2026-09. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas, canvassing the return and declaring the results of the City of Montgomery, Texas general election held on the 2nd day of May, 2026, for the purpose of electing a mayor and 2 city council members, place 2 and place 4 for regular terms. Whereas on January 24th, 2026, the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas approved and adopted ordinance number 2026-03, ordering a regular and special election to be held jointly with Montgomery County on May 2nd, 2026, for the purpose of electing a mayor and 2 city council members, places 2 and 4 for regular terms. And whereas it is hereby found and determined that the notice of the election was duly given in the form, manner, and time required by law, and was in all respects legally held in accordance with applicable laws of the state of Texas and proceedings calling and governing the holding of such election. And whereas the presiding judge and or alternate judge have tallied the votes of the election and have provided the results to the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas, Section 1, that the recitals contained herein are true and correct. Section 2, that 477 ballots were cast during early voting and on election day, and the election as follows. Early voting, 329 votes. Absentee voting, 27 votes. Election day voting, 121 votes. Total ballots cast, 477. Registered voters, 2,138. Turnout percentage, 22.31%. Section 3, that Sarah Countryman, candidate for mayor, is hereby declared elected to said respective office, subject to the taking of the oath of office as provided by the laws of the state of Texas, a Type A general law. The votes cast in the mayor election are as follows. Mark Guest, total 139. Sarah Countryman, total 188. Art Aguilar, total 133.
Kristen Gillinet, total 13. Okay, so that incorrect.
Section 4, that Casey L. Olson, candidate for City Council Member Place 2, is hereby declared elected to said respective office, subject to the taking of the oath of office as provided by the laws of the state of Texas in Type A General Law. The votes cast in the City Council Member Place 2 election are as follows. Casey L. Olson, total 361. Section 5, that Cheryl Fox, candidate for City Council Member Place 4, is hereby declared elected to said respective office, subject to the taking of the oath of office as provided by the laws of the state of Texas and Type A General Law. The votes cast in the City Council Member Place 4 election are as follows. Ephraim Lucas, 140, Cheryl Fox, 297. Section 6, that the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas has examined the official canvass report as certified by the presiding judge and or alternate judge and finds no irregularities. A copy of the official canvass report is attached here too as Exhibit A. Section 7, that the election was held in conformity with the provisions of the state election code and the results of the election as stated herein are approved and adopted. Section 8, that this ordinance shall be preserved in the permanent records of the City of Montgomery, Texas, passed, approved, and adopted this 12th day of May, 2026. Is for you to vote on. Consideration possible action to accept all of this.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I make a motion that we accept it as it was read.
I motion by Ms. Fox that we accept item number 10 as read. Seconded by Mr. Glazier. This motion is debatable, amendable, requires majority vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept item number 10 on the election agenda as presented. Item number 11. Presentation of certificate of election to newly elected officials for mayor and city council place 2 and 4.
I believe I have the certificate of election. So
What do you want me to do? Hand these out, or then the next one we take our oath? Correct. Okay.
I'm sorry. They fixed out. Oh, whatever.
Fancy presentation. Number 12, administration statement of officer and oath of office to newly elected officials for mayor and city council place 2 and place 4.
Mayor, come on down.
All right.
We'll start with the mayor and Councilwoman Fox. You'll be number 2. So you can stay right here. Get your hold and raise your right hand. In the name and authority by the state of Texas, that I, Sarah Country, do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of the City of Montgomery Mayor
the office of the City of Montgomery Mayor
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and I will, to the best of my ability,
and I will, to the best of my ability,
preserve,
protect,
and defend
the
Constitution and laws
Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and this state.
and this state.
So help me God.
So help me God. Thank you, sir. Mac married me. Mac did my first. There you go.
Your Majesty. Raise your right hand. All right. It's by the name and by the authority of the state of Texas. I want you to repeat it with me. I, Cheryl Fox,
I, Cheryl Fox,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of
the duties of the office of
the City of Montgomery,
the City of Montgomery,
City Council Member 4,
City Council Member 4,
and of the state of Texas,
and of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
defend
defend the Constitution
the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and this state.
and this state.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you all. I'm gonna apologize that I'm swearing in Montgomery ISD when I get there. And I'm hoping by all the glue back here, I should be able to get there.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, sir.
Save that second copy. I got a second copy. See, there was a reason why you need two.
Yeah.
No, the other oath of office.
Those cases. Sarah, Cheryl.
That's one you signed for me.
Casey, Sarah, Cheryl. You have it again?
We got it. We got it.
All right, thank you.
Ah, we found it. We found it. All right, sorry about that.
I know, don't want
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
All right, number 13 on your agenda, consideration of possible action regarding the appointment of Mayor Pro-Tem.
I nominate Cheryl Fox for Mayor Pro-Tem.
There's a motion by Mr. Johnson to nominate Cheryl Fox as Mayor Pro-Tem. Second by Mr. Glazier. This motion is debatable and amendable. Requires a majority vote. It's open for discussion. All those in favor of appointing Mayor Pro-Tem as Cheryl Fox, say aye. Aye. Those say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries. And Cheryl Fox will be your Mayor Pro-Tem. Congratulations. All right. Next item on your agenda is a public hearing. Number 14, convene a public hearing on the final report for a rezoning request submitted by Elsper Engineering related to corner John Tract 57-D Ward Investments 01 RES A file number 2007-006-890. Acres 3.252 that is currently zoned PD plan development to be rezoned I institutional. It is 6:25 and we will head into public hearing. No one here to speak. It is 6:25. We will close that public hearing. Regular agenda, item number 15. Consideration of possible action of an ordinance by the City Council of the City of Montgomery, Texas, amending the zoning classifications as defined in the City Code of Ordinances, Chapter 9A, zoning for corner John, Tract 570, Ward Investments 01, RES A file, number 2007-006-890, acres 3.252, Montgomery, Texas, from PD Land Development Zoning District, as found on the city's official zoning map, to I institutional zoning district classification, and to amend the official zoning map, providing a savings clause, providing a repealing clause, and providing an effective date upon passage and publication. Ms. Tilly.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. So this is the location on Liberty Street, used to be Jim's Hardware, now proposed to be the municipal complex. So we're changing it from a planned development to an I institutional zoning district to match the use that is proposed in this building. If you have any questions on the actual location, that is.
I recommend we accept agenda item number 15 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, second by Ms. Fox, that we accept item number 15 as presented. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries, and we'll accept item number 15 as presented. 16 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action on a request for sign variances of the on-premises ground signs freestanding proposed at each major entrance for the HEB development. Ms. Tilly.
Good evening again, Mayor and council members. There's 4 freestanding signs proposed at the HEB property. I relabeled them as signs A, B, C, and D. You'll see in, I hope I have these page numbers correctly, page 103 in your packets, the proposed locations of A and B along Highway 105 and C and D along 2854. So the variance request here is for the height of all 4 signs and the effective area of all 4 signs. Signs A and B, which are on 105, let's see here, they're both the same size. And then signs C and D are also both the same size, same height, and same effective area. So the maximum height and effective area, per the ordinance, they would be going above that maximum height. You have 10 feet and 100 feet. The proposal is 14 feet 8 inches for A and B, and 159 square feet in the effective area for A and B. For C and D, we have 10 feet 8 inches for the height, and the maximum effective area of 115 square feet at each of those signs. The other portion of this request is the location of the signs. We have in our ordinance prohibited signage in the side and rear yards of a commercial development that would happen to be facing a residential area. And we do have that on the side yard for HEB. There are a list of considerations that they put on there about that prohibited yard placement, but if you look on your maps, Ms. Wendy Allgood of the sign company, they did a lot of work in photographs showing distances from 105, specific locations looking onto HEB property on 2854, again from varying distances looking onto HEB property. And then you'll see some of the scaled signage that they placed on the property with the tall walls and the reasoning for their placement, and also for the size of those signs and the height.
So these photos, is that how it would essentially look? Because they're far off of the roadways.
Yes, they are. Okay. So if you look at page 104, that is a picture of signs A and B. They're your fuel signs. If you look at page 108 is sign A, and what that would look like from 105 or 2854 actually, the fuel sign on 2854 and the corner of 105. So it's pretty far from the corner and the roadway, and then it's kind of on that top.
And they're a lot more attractive than those overhead lines. That was just very,
Yeah, that's their thing. Then if you look at page 111, it shows you a description of signs C and D. The only lighting that will be coming from there is backlighting coming from the sign, so it doesn't even have the numbers lit like you did the signs A and B for the fuel. This is just to designate that this is the area where the curbside is going to be, where the pharmacy drive-through is going to be. And then page 114 is a picture of sign C. So that sign, we actually went out to the site, and they built or constructed that HEB sign just to show where it's going to be, and then they had this equipment to show its height. They actually measured the tallest point of this HEB sign and how it would look on that property. And then the same goes for page 116 on sign D. And again, signs C and sign D are the ones that are in the side yard. And you'll be able to see it from pages 117 to 124, all of the different street views of driving in towards HEB and the signage that's on the corner.
So we're purely doing this just because the ordinances state so, but it's not because you in planning and zoning have an issue with the signs, correct? Okay.
Is there any,
If you want to,
Is there an issue with B, the one that's by the residential? Is that being seen, or is this one adjusted, or is?
yeah, it's just that it's in the side yard. And in our ordinance, it says the side and rear yard, this is actually the side yard of a commercial district that would be facing the residential. Now, if you took the definition of facing, I'm facing you all. Am I actually facing you all, unless I turn my head? So C and D isn't actually directly facing that residential district, it's just a portion of it, I guess you could
It's
say.
facing 2854.
It's more
Just right.
facing
Just want to make sure that.
than it is residential. And then, of course, you have the variance request on that, the height of the signs and then the square footage of the signs. But you can tell that without the height and without that effective area, we actually be able to see the sign way up on the retaining wall, and as far as it is from 2055.
Just for the record, they're not.
But not obscene. They really are set back, and I think
I think
they look great.
I would make a motion to approve.
Mr. Glazer made a motion to approve item number 16 as presented with the sign variances, seconded by Ms. Fox. This motion is favorable. Amendable, required for vote, open for discussion. All those in favor of approving item number 16, sign variances, say aye. Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. We'll accept item number 16 as presented. Number 17 on your agenda. Thank you. Consideration of possible action on a variance request regarding the tree assessment outlined in section 78-167 of the city's code of ordinances for the Briarley Development, building number 2006.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So in front of you today is a variance request for the Briarley Development that's going on the southwest side of town. Included in y'all's packet is a memo from us, recommendations from P&Z, and memo from the developer's engineer kind of summarizing the request. So kind of just to paint the picture, by ordinance, newly adopted ordinances back in February of last year, you were required, all preliminary plats are required to submit a tree assessment with their preliminary plat for approval. This variance request is to alleviate that requirement from Briarley in order for them to get their preliminary plats approved. And kind of summarizing the reason as to why they're doing this or requesting it is, again, unforeseen financial burden on them, and then also likewise the requirement that they believe they're meeting sufficiently without providing that said assessment. And they're quoting cost of landscaping improvements per section at $325,000, again, per section. If any of y'all have driven out there, y'all can kind of see what they're proposing as far as proposed and newly planted trees. In addition to that, they are looking to maintain approximately 65% of the existing canopy. Between sections 4 and 6, they're proposing a park, and then within section 8, a future section, they are proposing keeping as many existing trees on that portion of the property. And so kind of just painting the picture, looking at pages 131 through 135, you'll see kind of what's proposed. And this variance request is for all remaining sections. So section 7, that's currently in review for preliminary platting, section 8, which is currently in review for preliminary platting, and then future sections 9, I believe 10 through 9, 10, and 11. The variance request would only be for the portions of property that are currently within the development. If they, for some reason, decide to purchase additional property outside of their development agreement, they would have to come back to council for that approval and amendment to the development. And again, just as a reminder, this does not alleviate them from planting 2 trees per single family lot. So one lot has to have 2 trees, one being located in the front, and then typically they propose the second one being in the back. You'll see on pages 134 and 133 what they're proposing as far as that planting goes. But again, they are meeting the minimum requirement for single family lots.
Not being persnickety, but being persnickety, there's a corner lot that has
has one tree on the proposed plot. Are they gonna put two in the back then?
Where are you looking?
So in the corner of Ashford Way,
What page?
well, it's number 10 on our agenda. So it's the one that shows all the two trees.
Yes, okay.
So you see that?
So yes, they would be proposing an additional tree.
Okay.
This is on page, it looks like page 131.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would be proposing an additional tree. Again, this is kind of just conceptual. They're still in review currently, the WSND, which is a part of the landscaping group as well. We would make that comment and make sure that they plant two trees to fit that.
And it's feasible if they plant two trees in the back, they don't have to put that one in the front.
One has to be in the front.
Oh, okay.
By
Then
ordinance.
you need to add that.
Yes, ma'am.
It's 638, Mr.
Yes, so
You're okay.
planning and zoning has looked and approved the variance request and preliminary plats for section 7 and 8. Section 7 and 8, or they contingently approved the preliminary plats for section 7 and 8, contingent upon council's action tonight on the variance request. So in short order action from planning and zoning at their May meeting last week, approved the preliminary plats contingent upon council action tonight. Y'all are taking action on the variance request, and then the following council meeting on May 26th, we will be bringing the plats back to y'all for consideration and action on the final approval for the preliminary plats.
Motion by Mr. Glazer that we accept number 17 as presented. Second by Ms. Fox. All those in favor of accepting item number 17 as presented, say aye. All those opposed say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries. You are on the record, ma'am. We will accept item number 17 as presented. All right, number 18 and number 19 are swapped, so I'm going to read number 19 first, and then we will go to number 18. Consideration of possible action by the City Council to amend and execute the Superior Properties Development Agreement, development number 2215.
All right, so the items 18 and 19 they kind of run together. In order of operations, we would have to take action on this item first, which is why they're flipped. So this item is to amend the development agreement between the city and Superior Properties, outlining that the requirement for impact fees being paid at the time of final platting be delayed until the time of connection for each proposed block. And so looking at page, directing back to item number 18, page 139, you'll see the proposed final plat of the development. On the far west side, Reserve A being reserved for multifamily use. The middle reserve, which is shown today currently as commercial, this was recently rezoned to be institutional for the church that's going on there. And then on the hard corner of Lone Star Parkway and 149, Reserve C, which is commercial. As of today, there are only plans for Reserve A and Reserve B. We're currently reviewing the plans for multifamily, and the church is, obviously, as you're aware, just recently gone through rezoning for that development. But as a part of final platting, again, by development agreement, they were required to pay the impact fees for the entire portion that they are platting. This came out to an amount of $995,000. The meter size, and it's all based on meter size, the meter sizes for the multifamily development has been identified because we're currently going through plan review for that. The meter size for the church has been assumed based on similar churches within the area, and then the future commercial pad sites were assumed based on the usages proposed in the feasibility study. And so kind of with all that in mind, the developer did request to help alleviate some of the liquidity issues that would be seen with paying all that up front, that they delay the cost or delay the payment to the time of connection of each individual pad site. And so we offered, kind of an alternative to that, and platting only what they're what's confirmed today, i.e. the multifamily and the institutional portion, and then come back later for the commercial pad sites. They elected to go with the development agreement amendment to delay connection or delay payments until connection, excuse me. And this would be taking action on authorizing the city attorney to amend the development agreement and move forward with the development and planning process. There is a representative from the developer here tonight that can speak to any questions that y'all may have specifically.
Brett, is this out of the ordinary? Because it seems to me it is, and,
It's different, yes, but when we looked at all what they're trying to do and the engineers looked at it, I don't see any issues doing it this way. It's really makes it easier for them to finance this as they go along rather than come up with a lot of money in the beginning when you don't really even know exactly what they're going to do.
well, I just don't want to open Pandora's box, because if we do this for one developer, at least you could have some first again, and I just.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, it's written that way. I mean,
So, yeah, to provide a little bit of context, in recent years, we have made kind of a requirement for all developments within the city to pay impact fees at the time of platting versus at the time of connection. That allows the city to give that cost for impact fees up front in the event that we need to spend money on a capital improvement project. And so, essentially, with this amendment, you would be proposing that the assessment is done now, but payment would be done later. And so, at the time of final platting, they will be locked into these rates in the event that they develop that third commercial tract or, delay the institutional tract. Next year, 5 years, 10 years from now, they're locked into today's rates. But they would still be paying, just make that abundantly clear.
Yeah, but we don't really know when the final plat is gonna be final for any of these sections.
So the final plat, as item number 18 kind of suggests, the final plat is ready for approval, contingent upon action on this amendment.
We have to approve this first and then we go to that. No, there is no final plat.
Is there a timetable of that will be done? Because we're locking in today's rates.
As far as the development goes, thank you.
My question is, with the rates increase, if this is going to be throwing out years from now, but you're getting old rates, just instead of saying, well, okay, if we do this, but we're going to pay current rates.
So on the city side, the earliest time that we'll be able to update impact fees will be 2027. So the state legislature just updated as of September 1st of last year that impact fees can only be updated every 5 years, I believe. And so we updated back in 23, 24, which would line up with 2027.
And this could be done around that time, and impact fees could be higher, but they're going to be in old rates.
Correct.
So when we originally did the plat, we were doing it as one single plat, where the owner was going to develop the entire tract. And then we were doing a phase one with the multifamily on the west side, and we would move west-east. As we moved forward, the church came to the ownership and asked to purchase property. And so we set aside that middle tract is what they asked for. And then it left about just under a 2-acre tract on the corner for commercial. Went through the rezoning over the last month. What we're asking for is since we will have now 3 ownerships. The original owner is going to do the multifamily. Those plans are going through the proper process of being reviewed. And then the church is going to come in when they purchase this property, which is why we would like to have it platted so we don't have multiple ownerships across the plat for signatures. Is when they would buy that piece of property after it's platted, then they would go through their plan process. When they go to get tapped, they would pay their tap fees or their impact fees. The corner tract is being sold to a commercial developer that's putting a building on it. When he puts his tap in, he will then be responsible to pay his impact fees at that time. And then the original owners, when those plans are finally done and we ask for tap, that's when that tap fee would be done on an 8-inch meter, which is $500,000. As it stands right now, the financing for that multifamily is not done and can't be done until the plat's recorded. And so we're kind of, where's the horse in the cart? And so this is why we're asking for an amendment to the development agreement so that each individual tract, as they request and get their permit and request meter, they can individually pay their own impact fees at the time of development.
So in order to accommodate that, then can we mitigate or take away locking in the impact fees at today's rate, but as whatever, when they decide to start and they've got to pay that impact fee, it is what it is that day and not retro to May 12th or 20th.
We're not asking for any of that. If we develop in 27, 32, whatever it is, worst case scenario, and those go up, we pay the impact fee at the time of meter and time to pay impact fees.
David, or Daniel, excuse me, David. As far as the assessment goes, would that be able to get updated from a legal standpoint from when they're ready to connect? Let's say, again, rates are X today, but they're connecting 2 years from now. Could we assess them at X plus 2, or would that have to remain the same?
If you lock them in for these current ones, I don't know if you'd be able to go up, but I can check with Alan to see what kind of future.
Till 27?
No, till that.
The next update. Yeah. And so to kind of address your concern, Sarah, the alternative for that is just platting what we are aware of today. And so reducing what's showing your tax income paid, that final plat, just platting multifamily and the church today, coming back later for the commercial tract. That would lock in rates for what we're aware of and have a firm timeline on, at least, conceptually, for the multifamily and the church. And then when the commercial pad decides to sell or what have you, that update, if it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we can update those rates accordingly and assess those at that time.
And I guess I would ask, as a consideration, is in the development agreement, just write in that assessments are at the current rate, whatever that is. Because what we need to do, or would like to do, is record the plat with all 3 reserves. Because then we don't have to go through the process of platting that small tract. And then as each developer, they pay whatever that current assessment is, whether it's in 26 or it's 27. And it's just a matter of, it's written as whatever the current assessment is at the time of request of meter.
Just don't want the corner property to come back on us and say, wait a minute, y'all approved this here and y'all have gone up. So now there's an issue there. So that's all. So as long as it's clear cut.
Mm-hmm.
That satisfy my.
And I satisfy myself, as I said, a year or two, right, in 2027, I'm okay for that period of just 5 years, so we're talking about this next year, then, correct, big rates are good, I'll be okay with it.
Right. Yeah, each developer is fully aware that if rates increase, it's what they pay.
You're on the record.
How much of this $995,000 are we gonna get if we go with that plan?
So of that, we would have the portion of the multifamily and the portion of the church. But again, at the time of connection, based on action tonight versus at the time of plat.
So 2/3.
Probably a little more.
Yeah, because it's big. Yeah, it's bigger.
80%.
So do we need to make a decision based on this with that addendum?
Correct. That would be the recommendation, the addendum based on, we can delay impact fees to the time of connection with the caveat of each connection would be assessed with the current rates as of that day.
That is what I would recommend and approve. That.
Motion.
That's the motion. I'm making a motion to approve it with that amendment that rates are paid at the time. At the current rate.
Assessed and paid at that time.
I'll second. There's a motion by Mr. Leisure, second by Ms. Langley, that we approve item number 19 as presented with an addendum that states impact fees
To be collected and paid at the time,
assessment
Yes. Assessed and paid
and paid
at the time.
at the time. That's fine. Is there any? All those in favor of accepting item number 19 as presented with the addendum, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
The ayes have it. Motion carries. And we will accept item number 19 as presented with the addendum included. Number 18, consideration of possible action by the City Council on the final plat for Superior Properties, development number 2215.
Again, in front of you all today is the final plat for Superior Properties. As mentioned in the last agenda item, the amendment to the development agreement would allow for payment of the impact fees to be done at the time of connection. So this is just approving the plat. We have all of the documentation as far as the security bond or performance bond, maintenance bond, payment bond for the proposed infrastructure improvements to sanitary sewer along the frontage of Lone Star Parkway. And as soon as they're ready to bid that out, we'll be ready to inspect and do oversight of that project.
Council will entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept number 18 as presented.
Motion by Ms. Langley that we accept number 18 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Glazier. This motion is debatable, movable, or to be voted, so for discussion. All those in favor of accepting number 18 as presented, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept number 18 as presented. Number 19 on your agenda, consideration of possible action authorizing the mayor to sign the escrow agreement by and between the City of Montgomery and Take 5 that will change development number 2684.
Agenda item 20.
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect, sorry. In front of you all today is an escrow agreement for the Take 5 oil change. If you go to page 193 and 194 of your packet, you'll see that this is located within the overall BCS capital development. That's between CV Stewart and Buffalo Springs. This is one of the pad sites that they're looking to develop. The developer reached out, not developer, the engineer for Take 5 reached out to us a few weeks ago for a pre-development meeting, kind of to go over the process, and they're wanting to separate funds and coordination efforts from Take 5 component from the BCS capital component. So this just cleans that up and allows us to bill against their escrow account versus billing against BCS's escrow account.
Do they have a different timelines of their building and everything?
I believe it's pretty close to what BCS's is. I'm not entirely sure, but I would imagine it's pretty close because I know they've been in close coordination with us as well as BCS's engineer elsewhere.
I think they're about to start turning dirt, is that right?
They are. We're going through plan review for the mass grading and detention for the overall site, so it is getting pretty close.
Make a motion to accept agenda item number 20 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, that we accept item number 20 as presented. Second by Ms. Fox. This motion is debatable, amendable, presentory vote, open for discussion. All those in favor of accepting item number 20 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept item number 20 regarding the escrow agreement by and between the city and Take 5 will change. Number 21 on your agenda, consideration of possible action to authorize the mayor to sign the escrow agreement between the City of Montgomery and HEB Americana, LLC, development number 2605, and authorize the city engineer to begin the feasibility study.
So in front of y'all, along with the electronic copy and a hard copy of our client memo for the feasibility study for this development, I'd like to point you to page 208 of your packet, 208 and 209. This outlines what they're proposing as far as the development goes. This is the parcel located on Buffalo Springs and Lone Star Parkway on that hard northeast corner. They are looking to do multifamily cottage-style lots or development, with currently, based on their latest land plan, a total of 211 homes with 376 parking spaces. This action tonight is just authorizing us to complete the feasibility study, outlining the requirements for the development, how they'll get sanitary sewer service, how they'll get water service, detention requirements, transportation considerations, etc., and then outlining the rest of the development process for this development. rezoning as well. This property is currently zoned planned development, so any potential rezoning that would happen for the proposed multi-family use.
Zachary, at one point, this was gonna be an all-female,
I
proposed all-female property.
Me and Chris, that was mentioned during the pre-development meeting that they were catering towards all female.
This is the same company?
Yes, I won't say that they're explicitly marketing to only women, but that was mentioned during conversation.
What is a cottage? What's that mean? Cottage.
Not a home developer, but essentially, smaller apartment style homes, not your 3-4 story homes. Not a tiny home, but not a townhome, somewhere in between. If I had to give a.
Like they have one adjoining wall.
Correct.
Right.
Duplex?
I think it's like a cottage. It's like a little house that has
they
a
are
adjoining.
small compared to your traditional apartment style developments, but they're also not super tiny as far as tiny homes are considered.
More of a patio home.
Okay. Are they 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom max?
They haven't outlined or let us know about that. We can request that and outline it within the feasibility study.
They believe there is a market here for that?
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm sorry, 1 story, 2, 1, 2, how many?
They have not shared, kind of final plans on that, but we can outline that in the feasibility study.
So we're just approving the feasibility study and then you can come back and get us.
Correct. Once we finalize the feasibility study, we'll present that to y'all as well as P&Z, outlining all the requirements as far as zoning, standards, transportation, drainage, water, wastewater protection, et cetera, on the development. And then at that time, if they decide to continue with the development, they'll have to come back for all the rezoning, all the plan reviews for the development.
Make a motion, we accept agenda item number 21 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Johnson, will we accept item number 21 as presented? Seconded by Ms. Fox. All those in favor of accepting item number 21 as presented, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we will accept item number 21 as presented. 22 on your agenda, consideration of possible action authorizing the mayor to sign the escrow agreement by and between the City of Montgomery and Wells Fargo, development number 2683.
Good evening again. So this is very similar to the Take 5 development. If you look on page 222 and 223 of your packet, you'll see the pre-development exhibit kind of showing where this is. This is within the HEB and SR 105 32-acre development on State Highway 105 and 2854. This is going to be the pad site on that hard corner of 2854 and 105. Again, this is just allowing them to be billed against their own escrow versus Take 5, not Take 5, SR 105's escrow agreement. And so we will be reviewing Wells Fargo plans separately from the overall site and tracking those plan approvals, development coordination, et cetera, separately from those 2 escrow accounts.
So now that we've approved the HEB, is Wells Fargo going to come and need signage as well? Because that's going to be on the side of residential?
I'm not sure how that would actually work if they're proposing, a sign that has multiple pad sites on it. That would be on them to kind of determine. And I know they're working closely with the SR 105 group. I believe HEB is only covering their signage. So yeah, there would be a separate agreement or plan review altogether. And again, we haven't gotten to the plan review for the overall site of the SR 105 development.
How do you get into the place? Looks to me like it's going to be off the parking lot of HEB on.
So they would have shared access between the pad sites, not just Wells Fargo, but all the pad sites that are going to be along 105, shared access between each of those pad sites. And there's a separate easement that will be conveyed by Plat for that.
Thankfully, I think that would potentially be a hazard if they didn't have it shared.
So it's on the far east side.
West side.
Well, that's my point, because
It's on the southeast side of 2854.
Southeast side of 2854, correct.
That's what I said.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I know. It's on the west side of that property, but
West side.
Yes, west side.
east of 25. Sorry, Steve, did you have a question?
no, I'm just trying to make sure, that they don't have any access from the street side, because there's no way that they'll possibly have traffic like this. We haven't got the speed limit reduced yet, but I'm sure the chief is still working on that.
It's already been,
Some way.
it's been approved.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Well, that's good, thank you. I didn't know that. I make a motion to accept agenda item number 22 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Dawson, that we accept item number 22 as presented.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Glazier. All those in favor of accepting item 22 as presented, say aye. Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and let's accept item number 22 as presented. 23 on your agenda. Consideration of possible action regarding authorizing a utility easement at Tri-Pointe.
Yes, ma'am. So in front of y'all today is a easement for the Tri-Pointe development in relation to the Lift Station 5 relocation project. If you remember, at your last council meeting, you approved easement on the opposite side of 105 for Allen Man. Again, related to the same project. This is just along the portion of the property that's owned by Tri-Pointe. And because they're not ready for final platting, they're getting this easement ahead just to confirm that we have access to the site. And so if you look on page 233 of your packet, you'll see what the proposed plan is and where the proposed utility easement would be located. Again, it's sharing the same general alignment of what's the existing sewer that's out there today. What we're doing right now is papering up because there's not an existing easement there right now, and then adding or adjusting flow lines to make sure that the gravity works to the new lift station that would be within their development. The developer has reviewed and approved or executed the easement, so now it's just the city council's time to have that, and so we can record it with the county.
I move to accept agenda item number 23 as presented.
Motion by Mr. Dodson, that we accept item number 23 as presented. Seconded by Ms. Fox. All those in favor of accepting item 23 as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, say nay. The ayes have it, the motion carries, and we'll accept item 23 as presented. Next item on your agenda is the staff reports. Number 24, City Administrator Monthly Report. Mr. Law.
Good evening. I'm gonna kind of touch on, I've been negotiating with Collection, our new construction manager, and I'm gonna go over some of the dates that I've got. The contract is pretty much at the end. I'm throwing it over here to the attorneys to bless it. But really, this part of the contract is just to get started. It's the pre-construction contract. Next, we'll have the GMP, but we should have the design and everything finished by the end of August. Going into September, we should have the GMP will be prepared during this time in September, but we should bring it to council September. The GMP, you'll be able to look at the costs, the prices, you'll approve that, which will take us into construction. If all of that goes smooth and we agree to a price, we're looking at July 27 or September 27, somewhere in there for completion, just to give you some rough estimates. So if everything goes smooth, which, you know, most things don't always go perfect, but July, we could potentially be at the end of construction. We'd be ready for acceptance at that point. But those are just kind of these are early, of course, but I do believe we'll make the August and we'll make a September GMP, which the first council meeting in September, we should have that GMP in front of you. So we'll give you the opportunity to look at it. If there's changes, questions, whatever it may be, we'll have time to discuss that.
On the contract with Tillotson, these are some good milestones to have. Is there a financial penalty should they not meet the milestone? Just because I have a little bit of PTSD?
Well, you're talking about the construction milestones?
Yeah.
Yes, there, and really the contract is written where there's benefits for early, benefits for being under budget, but you will see that contract, so you will see how that lays out. We're still working through that. What I just finished is really pre-construction contract just to get this thing started. But yes, there are some remedies in there.
July to September is a 90-day window.
Yeah, I mean, if we go back and we remember what we saw, Tillotson proposed a 12-month time frame. The others were in that 10-month time frame. So during this negotiation, we asked, hey, where can we really be? So if we're in the happy medium, 11 months, which would put us in August, So that's kind of where we're heading. You know, there's a whole bunch of long lead items and other things that we've got to take into consideration.
Sure.
As long as we can get stuff on the ground and get it here, don't have any delays, we don't have weather issues, you know, those kind of things.
So you're saying that you're gonna have built into that compensation for early completion, but you'll also have penalties for not performing.
Yes, and we're working on that language already. When we get to the GMP part of it, you'll see that language in that contract. That'll be, it's really addendums to what we're starting with here. But we'll clearly line that out in each addendum. And anything that we want to add, you know, we can sure clarify that. And Miss Kimberly was not on here this time. We missed her. We didn't forget about her. So
she's
let
gonna
her earn her wings tonight and give you the rest of my review.
She's gonna co-author your report.
I wanted to talk about the projects. I'll bring her up to speed, and she's been.
Hi. So, good evening, Mayor, council members. So I do have a few updates for all of you. I have begun the meetings with council and the MEDC. Thank you if you've already met with me. I have some more meetings scheduled. I welcome the opportunity to sit down with each of you. I'm going to take the data that I compile from these meetings in probably about a month or so once I get a few more done and create a report for the council and the board just so we can look and see what do we all have in common, what are our common goals that we're working towards when it comes to economic development, and to just kind of give all of you something to digest just so we can see what page we are all on. I've also met with most of our downtown businesses. Just to introduce myself, I'll be following up with them once I get some other things in place here for the city and the board one-on-one so we can better establish that relationship that we have with our downtown business owners. The council approved or completed the second reading for McCowan Street improvements tonight. So that being said, we can move forward with our public hearing, which will occur next Tuesday. So we can hopefully move forward in putting that out to bid sooner rather than later. We are in the final approval stages for our entryway wayfinding signs, which is super exciting. So we're hoping that in the next week or so, we can have those signs approved and sent off and begin fabrication on those. I have also completed a draft of our Chapter 380 Economic Development Guidelines, along with a tax incentives application. This will help better protect the city and the MEDC when companies come to us asking for incentives. I'm making some final edits on those before I send them over to the attorneys for their review, and then we will put together a workshop, probably a joint workshop between the council and the board, so I can present everything to all of you and let you make your adjustments, cross out things, add things, whatever you would like to do. And lastly on my list is I have begun drafting business improvement grant guidelines that would be funneled through the MEDC. So setting those parameters of what does that look like, and also setting up an application process for those matching grants that would flow through the economic development corporation. Yes, it's been great. Yes, they're excited.
I mentioned that we're going to get together with Zach and then on the project itself. We haven't got that.
Yes, we're going to, with Zach, set up a meeting for the downtown businesses, hopefully by the end of this month, so we can update them on all of the McCowan Street improvements. We really want to focus on open and consistent communication with them, and we need to update them on everything that's going to be happening once we begin those improvements.
So I'm going to assume council's going to be invited?
Sure.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I think
I mean, I'd like to. I'm telling you, I'd like to be
here
invited.
because I think we're gonna have some pictures and stuff rather than try to, find a spot now. I think we can do it here in a workshop style-ish. Yes. That way we can have the big screens and everything.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Walker, you done?
Yes, sir, I should have some questions for me.
Number 25, police department report for April 2026.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You have the report in front of you. If you have any questions, be glad to answer. Questions that you
Chief,
may have.
it may have been mentioned in the CCPD,
Yes, ma'am.
but it was not mentioned, I believe, in here. There was concern when we had the CIP, the Capital Improvements Project, the meeting, the workshop, and we talked about an incinerator for potentially for a new police department. And it's my understanding those plans have been changed and there will not be an incinerator here.
Yes, ma'am. A few weeks after that, we got a call back from the county. The county is going to open up their incinerator. Again, it's just going to do it for the police departments here in Montgomery County, because I think the last police department that kind of had theirs exploded wasn't inside the county. So we're going to do an MOU with those guys, and we're going to use theirs. It'll save us about $50,000. So we're good.
We appreciate that.
Have to also remember that, we have copy of the costs.
Yes? Would you like to talk about tomorrow morning?
Thursday morning.
Thursday morning. I don't know, I don't know if it's not been done.
You're going to be late. Shot with the cop. I mean, coffee with the cop. It's going to be at the Highland place, Highland Coffee House down here. So, yeah, we'll be outside on the patio. And, we just want to meet and come for next one.
What time is that?
8 a.m. to 10.
8 to 10, you can make it.
I have a question regarding on the breakdown for the offenses where you have burglary.
Yes.
Whether they're residential or commercial, and that's what we're gonna have.
Okay, sure. We can break those out.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Thank you, Chief.
Thank
Appreciate it. 26, court report, April 2026, Ms. Duffy.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. You have the court report in front of you. The citations for April were 151, and the collections was $28,090.10 for the municipal court. Do you have any questions for the court? Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 27, financial report for March 2026. Mary Ann Carl.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. You have the report for March in front of you. I did note on the cover sheet, talking to you a little bit about sales tax, because if you look at the overall report, you would see that the sales tax is down for the second month in a row, but overall, it is not down. So if you look at page 267 in your packet, this is the sales tax payment detail. The most important part on this entire page is what is listed as collections current period. If you see the current period in March of 25, it was $435,546, and in March of 26 is $446,345. The reason I say those are the most important is because those are the current tax collections. And if you go over one more column, you will see that we're up 18.5% over last year at the same period.
Beautiful.
So sales tax is trending up, so that's a good thing. The reason that the money that we've received has changed or is less than what we received last time is because of those other factors: the prior period, future period, audit, and single local tax rate. So those are all things that we get, or in some cases have to give back to the jurisdiction that it rightfully belongs to. But the most important thing that we look at is that current period, and that's what we use for forecasting. So those other things are just kind of extras, right? Does anybody have any questions?
When we budgeted, are you saying we're 18.5% ahead of what we budgeted, or just year over year?
That's collections.
That's collections. We collected 18.5% more year-to-date than what we had last
Did
year.
we budget to,
We didn't budget quite that aggressively.
Right.
But yeah,
Okay.
we, you know,
That means we're proceeding where we thought we were.
right, and remember, that's the one that's a little hard to look at this point because of the audit adjustment that happens, but we're on track with our sales tax. Perfect. Nothing that we're concerned about as far as that goes, so. Any other questions?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Why are we still paying half associates $62,000?
So they're
I'm not
working.
concerned about personalities, I was under the impression that everybody.
That's engineering. Half associates is the engineering, and that's the Town Creek wastewater treatment plant.
So, I'm kind of confused with
That's all right.
the half that's temporary.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Also, the Commerce Chamber of Commerce for $3,000, is that a monthly bill?
The Conroe Chamber,
Yes.
that would have been the annual membership.
That's our annual?
For a whole year.
Yeah, that's the annual membership to the chamber.
I couldn't remember.
And we did step down that membership amount this year.
You did what?
Over what?
Stepped down.
We stepped down. We went down a tier. A few questions. Ruby was the one that handled that, but we did go down in the membership tier.
Kimberly, are you attending those meetings?
Not
yet.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah, I haven't gotten any. Are you getting any? They were used to sending us stuff, and now that they divested, is the best word I can come up with in Montgomery.
Got some of the event, notices, but not.
But for the luncheons and the Saturday.
We should be getting emails for $3,000.
$3,000, I thought that should be.
Well, we can just pay our $3,000 back.
It should have been,
We made some
what was paid for
It's our membership.
that? You know, it was 500 or 400.
Okay, well, let me figure out which.
It's what it was, but I dropped this down because we weren't utilizing all sources and I didn't see us spending taxpayer money on that. We didn't have to.
Which one are we looking at? Which page is it on?
It's on page 277. It's vendor number 1829.
I'll have to look to see what it is, because off the top of my head,
It's 1829, it's about the middle of the page.
Yep, I see it. I
Yeah.
thought that was the membership, but if you're saying it was only 500, then I have to look at it, because I don't know.
I know what it was.
Please.
Furniture.
Oh, you're right, it was. Thank you. Yep, thank you.
on me.
Where are you? The furniture for that was in the building across the street. There was furniture that they had there that we could utilize for our individual.
You don't mean buy?
No, we bought it, but instead of them moving it out and us having to go buy more furniture to put in, we did have to add a few desks, but yes, you're exactly right, that's what that payment was.
But that facility stuff can be utilized in building it.
Yeah, that's what we looked at. Was it usable? That desk that she's using is basically brand new, and there's little couches, and I mean, they've made it look really nice. If you ever get a chance, stop over there. It looks cute.
So, but I appreciate you stepping us down from the chamber. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Are you in charge of page 275?
Get to page 275 and I'll let you know. Yes, what questions do you have on this page?
The red under 90 days, is that?
You're going to ask about that? So in that particular case, what Councilmember Langley is talking about is up in the utility account arrears. And in the 90-day category, you'll see that there's credit. This was this is caused by an entry that was made. It was a $400 payment that did not have fees associated with it. And so when we reviewed the report, that it stands out big because it's credit on the account, but it's not a credit for overpayment. It was a credit because fees hadn't been assessed. But it reflects here, I can't take it away. And then the 120-day category, I know y'all had asked about that a couple of months ago. We have worked. We had a major recovery in April to the tune of about, I think it was right around $13,000 to $14,000. And the remaining portion of that, which was a few additional thousand, came in right at the 1st of May. So you'll see a recovery there. And we are working on some of those additional accounts.
Thank you.
All right, great questions. Anything else?
When there's water theft by construction, where does that fit into this? Does it go into like the utility and arrears because it takes 30 to 60 days to get?
It doesn't really hit that.
Okay. Because they do pay right on time.
So what, I guess specifically, what are we?
So we've got new development coming, and they have
either the trucks or we go ahead and put in the meters for them. And when do they pay for that water?
So if it's theft that we catch that has not gone through a meter, it can't hit that report. It's paid, it's invoiced and paid.
So
that won't show up.
So we find out that it's ABC company. Where does that show up on here? Just in the utility?
It's going to show in utility revenue. It doesn't go through the billing process because there's not a meter in the system for it to tie to for billing.
So then how do we know how much, there's a meter on there, so that's how we know how much they've taken or stolen, whatever that word is?
Yeah, Mike's gone, but typically with new construction, they put a meter, they request a meter from the city that gets installed on a fire hydrant and they use it. If somebody's stealing it from a fire hydrant that's unmetered, then it wouldn't be measured, and so there wouldn't be a dollar.
Because that fire hydrant is by Jones, so people will take it.
And if Mike knows about
it, it's being metered, billed, and paid.
Just we're going to be stretched out between Taylor Morrison, Tri-Pointe, Briarley, other side of Montgomery, and we're just going to be stretched. And so actually have water theft, which is a little bit dull, so make sure we do that. They can steal it, we just didn't pay for it.
They can't steal
it, but they're not stealing it
because there's all kinds of backflow issues and all that with it, so. Yeah, but yeah, that won't be on that report. Okay. Typically, if we've had like a recovery on a water theft, it's reported separately just because it's not generally the norm, but it is reported as water revenue. So. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
We all appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, Rick Cannon, number 28, Building Official Report, March 2026.
Good evening, Council and Mayor. I'm inspired by your jacket to dress less conservatively.
I did it for you, Rick.
Thank you. On the topic of water theft, my guys and public works guys keep an eye out. We see somebody hooked onto a hose, usually the police department knows somebody, so we try to watch out for those things.
Thank you.
And on the topic of the tree ordinance, our guys, starting with all the permits in 2026, will be confirming that they do plant 2 trees on new home lots. Happy to report that the slab's been poured for Tri-Pointe model home. So got that area started. We've approved their entry design, so they should be starting that before.
Is that entry off of Lone Star Parkway?
That's correct. Just for your information, I had the contractor submit some photos the other day, wanting to know if they could do that instead of an inspection. I was at a conference this weekend. I'm gathering that there are some cities that are short on inspectors that are accepting. But the City of Montgomery, one of my guys does every inspection, so we don't accept photos from the contractors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, what we get paid for. You have my report, if there's any questions. I just wanted to note that I see that Ms. Tilly's coming up behind me. I just want to say, before she says anything bad about me, what a pleasure it is to work with this girl. Do you have any questions?
I have a question about, it says, the report is from March the 1st to March the 31st. And when it says permits issued, that's the total for the month of March.
That's correct.
Yes. And then the number of inspections is for the month of March also.
Correct. So the system that we use, Community Core, we use a master permit. So with any construction, whether it's a commercial or residential building, gets a permit number. And then all the subcontractors, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, sprinklers, and so forth, get a sub-permit under that main permit. So for example, an electrician may have 3 or 4 inspections on a project. Building inspection may have 5 inspections. So it's the grand total of all the inspections we do for the month. So even though we've only issued 80 permits in a month period, there's ongoing work permits that are issued. We're seeing a little bit of a slowdown in new applications, but hopefully with some of the new subdivisions coming in, that'll pick back up.
It says manufactured homes on private property. One, was that
I think that was,
Briarley or something?
no, that was back, I think on the MLK or somebody that had a mobile home.
It's residential.
Yes. Now, don't ask me too hard of questions. I have to ask Shavana hard
They
questions.
didn't have to come to council for permission.
It was a replacement 1-for-1. There was already a mobile home on that property, and they replaced it with a new one. So it's non-conforming in the sense that they could replace it. It was the exact same.
Did the other one burn, or did the other one?
They just replaced it because it was an older model. Isn't that on Baja? I think it was on
That's a
Baja.
different, that page goes from October 1st, 2025.
I'm providing a monthly report from just for the month of October, and the other report is cumulative since the beginning of the fiscal year. If you asked about a year ago for me to start providing this, so I think next month I'll be able to provide you with a comparison year to year, but that just kind of gives you an idea of what's going on since the start of the fiscal year.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Ms.
you.
All right, 129 Development Services Monthly Report for April 2026. Ms. Tilly?
Good evening. Well, you have my report in front of you. There hasn't been too much change between March and April. Still doing the special use permits. You'll be seeing some here shortly for drive-through for Wells Fargo. You might see a variance application for Wells Fargo for the height. I think it's their typical poll. Haven't had anything finalized yet. Other special use permits.
Wait, their poll for their son?
Yes,
Don't we have a-
Wells Fargo, the sign is usually like Wells Fargo straight up. It's like,
Don't we have a sign ordinance that's going to take care of that to make it?
Low? Like lift up, like memorial sign?
Or I think you're saying they're gonna ask for variance to our.
for the height, just the height, not the size, not the area, yes. Yes. Special use permits, you'll still be seeing some of those in the industrial district. As some of the businesses change there, we're trying to catch each one as they're changing. And it might be something that you would consider. I know that the Planning and Zoning Commission is considering it, but the industrial district is turning into a little bit more of a business, office, commercial.
And I'll say that was my concern with all of this coming, is, you know, it's take advantage, but obviously we'll deal with that.
Anything else? I'm still doing code enforcement. One of the biggest ones I worked with WGA and the inspector there. After our recent rain, I don't know if you've driven 1097, but from the development that was just on the north side of 1097 flowing into Montgomery Bend's entrance. And that was cleaned up perfectly on the day that we had found that, so they did take care of that. Let's see, anything else?
They're gonna have silt fences, or did it go through the silt fence? Go ahead.
It came through the construction entrance, just didn't get caught, so we got a couple of days on that one. Zach reached out as well, so the contractor cleaned it up in a few hours, I think, but it just throw a lot of rain that day. We hadn't had a lot of silt complaints, that's the first ones we've seen so far.
That's why the delay on 297 from the okay?
Good.
I think that was more tech stuff.
Well, there's some stuff, and then I heard about, there's 297s that would beat up lately with delays.
But you saw the lights for that intersection there. They're up.
Yep.
The refresher training course for planning and zoning, hopefully we're going to restart that here shortly now that we have the 2 new planning and zoning commission members who will come up to speed. And other than that, any questions?
Thank you. Let's hear one on Montgomery. All right, number 30, the Public Works March 2026 report.
You gave him his appreciation and he left.
The good thing is he let us know that.
He does so much for you, I wouldn't even be able to start to comment on it.
So we'll just go ahead. We'll go ahead and move on to the 31, number 31, utility operation for March 2026 monthly.
You have the report in front of you, and I think it looks pretty good considering all the issues in the past. So we're looking at almost 95% viability of the water, so that's really good. Water wells are in good shape, and then you can look at the sewer plant page on the next page and state everything's in compliance with the state effluent regulations, and so no concerns there. And then looking at the last page, you can see where we are with our permitting for Lone Star for the year. It's right in line. So.
Awesome.
That's the report for that.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Number 32, engineer report, Zach.
Good evening again. So tonight I'm bringing y'all is the engineer's report. I'll get to the high points. On page 295 of your packet, you'll see items 2 through 4. Town Creek wastewater treatment plant, so the expansion. We're currently bidding the demolition package. We're planning to make that recommendation of award at your June 9th council meeting. Concurrently, along with that, HAP is completing the design of phase 1 of that plant. Again, that plant is scheduled to begin bidding later this summer with operation for award soon thereafter the completion of the demolition package. So essentially having them stair stack their construction so there's no delay as far as construction goes on that project. Water plant number 4, we're currently reviewing the 90% plans and specs provided by Baxter and Whitman with Public Works, Hayes, and staff, making sure everything's in line. Concurrently, along with that, we're working with the developer and the district to deed over the water plant site. That will be in front of y'all at a future council meeting for execution to get that submitted to the TCQ for the water plant number 4 approval. We are expecting to bid that later this summer. Moving on to the next item, water plant number 32 competition. This is a ARPA funded project. We are essentially substantially complete. We're addressing one outstanding punch list item, which is establishing seed on the water plant site. The plant is fully operational with the addition of that booster pump, and we'll be making a recommendation that it is accepted and entered into the 1-year warranty at your next council meeting. Going on to lift station 10 phase 2. This is the Taylor Moore's funded project for lift station 10. This is adding a pump and completing electrical work, adding a generator for that lift station. Their contractor is continuing with the work and is wrapping up the improvements with the recently approved change orders and remaining work. Over the weekend, as y'all are aware, rained quite a bit here in Montgomery, so the lift station was ironically struck by lightning and fried some of the electrical components in the lift station. The meter can was damaged beyond repair. The contractor does have a replacement meter can, so they're working on getting that installed later this week. There may be a short delay on that, but it shouldn't hold up completion of that project any more than what it already has. Continuing on, moving forward, Buffalo Springs and CD Stewart Public Infrastructure Improvements. This is the BCS Capital and Church of Montgomery and City project for the utilities going along CD Stewart, Buffalo Springs, and connecting to Adjourn. We are currently bidding this project. The ad should be running this week, coordinating with BCS and their engineer on the final alignment of the utilities along 105. They're going through plan review with TxDOT to finalize their drainage grading plan. Once that's confirmed, we'll be able to finalize our plan set as well and get that bid and constructed. Next item, Lawson and Simonson, Waterline Loop. This is a Superior Properties Development. The developer did leave, but I have it on good authority that they are going to be moving forward with the deposit for that. We recently, not recently, a few months ago, bid and awarded the project to LG and G Construction. So as soon as the deposit's in hand, we'll have the contractor mobilized on site and begin that construction. Moving on to page 300 of the report, we're going to hit some of the kind of transportation items. So FM 297 in Buffalo Springs traffic signal, as y'all are aware, that signal is up. We are expecting that to be activated later this week. We had a timeline of today, but before I came here to council, it wasn't activated, so I imagine it'll be done by Friday. The next item, FM 297 in Hazel Road, that is the Montgomery Bend signal, the second signal on 297. That one I'm expecting, based on confirmation from the developer and engineer, that will be activated at the end of this month. Other transportation items, the Lone Star Parkway roadway expansion being completed by the county. We got late last week their preliminary layout for the expansion of Lone Star Parkway. We're currently coordinating with Public Works and Hayes on kind of the alignment of our existing facility infrastructure, being the water line and sanitary sewer along Lone Star Parkway, to make sure that there's no conflict with their proposed authorizations. KKC, same page. We're continuing coordination with staff and KKC on the amendments to the ordinances. Recently provided comments to fill the gaps on Chapter 78, which outlines some of the canopy requirements, landscaping requirements, etc., making sure that we're not having any gaps with development moving forward, and getting away from the variance requests for landscaping in general. So working closely with staff and KKC on that. And then going on to the next page, page 301, the last item on our report, the old Plantersville MOU and three-party agreement. We're going back and forth this afternoon on kind of the final terms of the agreement. Believe everything's squared away for it to be on the May 21st Commissioner's Court. So once that's executed, LJ will be completing the design of that roadway. And then the last three pages of our report are exhibits kind of outlining all the active developments, all the active pre-development meetings that we've had over the last couple of weeks and months. And then the last page, all the active capital improvement projects within the city. Do you have any questions?
Lots of activity.
Yes, lots of activity.
It's a very colorful map. I like how y'all started doing that.
You know, it has to provide some type of attention grab. It gets boring looking at that all day.
Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to accept the departmental reports as presented.
Motion by Ms. Langley that we accept the departmental reports as presented.
Second by Mr. Donaldson. All those in favor of accepting the departmental reports as presented, say aye.
Aye. Those opposed say nay. The ayes have it. The motion carries and we'll accept the departmental reports as presented. Closing agenda. Number 33, council report. Number 34, items to consider replacement on future agendas.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Ms. Fox, second by Ms. Langley. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
It is 7:41. We'll adjourn. Thank you.
And